everyone, this is Read Sav Read and I'm Savannah, and today we're going to be talking about the Me Before You series by Jojo Moyes. The first book in the series is Me Before You, and it's very popular. There was a film adaptation with Emilia Clarke playing the main character, Louisa Clarke, same last name, except the actress has an E at the end. But yeah, so it began with this book. And then there was After You. And then on January 30th or 31st, end of January of 2018, came Still Me, which is the third and final book of the series. And I just finished it today. Oops, sorry. I just finished it today, and it was amazing. I loved it. I loved it a lot more than After You, even though I did really enjoy After You, and I hope that there are 2 more film adaptations. I haven't heard any news regarding that, so that's kind of disappointing, but I hope that turns around. Yeah, so in case you haven't read it, I'm going to read the summary on the back of the book for each of these. So Me Before You, first book of the series. Louisa Clarke is an ordinary girl living an exceedingly ordinary life. Steady boyfriend, close family, who has barely been farther afield than her tiny village. She takes a badly needed job working for her ex-master of the universe, Will Traynor, who is wheelchair-bound after an accident. Will has always lived a huge life, big deals, extreme sports, worldwide travel, and he is not interested in exploring a new one. Will is acerbic, moody, bossy, but Lou refuses to treat him with kid gloves, and soon his happiness means more to her than she expected. When she learns that Will has shocking plans of his own, Lou sets out to show him that life is still worth living. Me Before You brings to life 2 people who couldn't have less in common, a heartbreakingly romantic novel that asks, what do you do when making the person you love happy also means breaking your own heart? So that's Me Before You. After You. Here's the summary from the inside of the book for the second book in the series. Louisa Clarke is no longer just an ordinary girl living an ordinary life. After the transformative 6 months spent with Will Traynor, she is struggling without him. When an extraordinary accident forces Lou to return home to her family, she can't help but feel she's right back where she started. Her body heals, but Lou knows that she needs to be kick-started back to life, which is how she ends up in a church basement with the members of the Moving On support group who share insights, laughter, frustrations, and terrible cookies. They will also lead her to the strong, capable Sam Fielding, the paramedic whose business is life and death, and the one man who might be able to understand her. Then a figure from Will's past appears and hijacks all her plans, propelling her into a very different future. For Lou Clarke, life after Will Traynor means learning to fall in love again, with all the risks that brings. But here Jojo Moyes gives us 2 families as real as our own, whose joys and sorrows will touch you deeply, and for whom both changes and surprises await. So that's the second book. And then the third and most recent and final of the series. Louisa Clarke arrives in New York ready to start a new life, confident that she can embrace the new adventure and keep her relationship with Ambulance Sam alive across several thousand miles. She has been hired by the super-rich Gopniks, Leonard and his unhappy much younger second wife Agnes, and finds herself amid a never-ending array of household staff and hangers-on. But Lou is determined to get the most out of the experience and throws herself into her job and this very privileged New York life. Soon, though, Lou realizes that life in the Gopnik household is not as straightforward as it first seemed. She also begins to make friends who inhabit a less rarefied side of New York, from the building doorman and his rambunctious family to the sisters who run the quintessential vintage clothing store downtown, to the world's crankiest neighbor, Margot DeWitt, and her fierce little dog, Dean Martin. Before she knows what's happening, Lou is mixing in New York high society, where she meets Joshua Ryan, a man who brings with him a whisper of her past. As Lou tries to keep the two sides of her world together, she finds herself carrying secrets, not all her own, that cause a catastrophic change in her circumstances. And when matters come to a head, she has to ask herself, who is Louisa Clark? And how do you reconcile a heart that lives in two places? So, it's a very eventful series. I don't usually read books like this, but I really just fell in love with Lou in the first book and had to keep reading these books. Her story, it was really adventurous and fun and relatable and funny. It's a really funny series. This is the bookmark I've used as I've read this series. It's her stripy bumblebee tights on a bookmark. You can get this. It's not focusing very well. It's an Etsy shop that makes bookmarks like these. They have like Harry Potter feet and Hobbit feet and mermaid tail one. It's a really cute shop on Etsy. It's called My Bookmark, capital B in bookmark. Yeah, I just wanted to share that I finished the series today, and I was just so engrossed in Still Me I couldn't put it down. So if you haven't finished the series yourself and you've read the first two, or maybe you've just read me before you and you weren't sure if you wanted to read on, I highly suggest that you do. It was a really wholesome and conclusive finale to Lou's story, and it felt a lot more like the loose ends were tied up and hopeful. So yeah, it was a great story, and I think all of you will enjoy it too, so be sure and check out Still Me, brand new in the literary world. So thank you for watching, as always. Yeah.